It was at the beginning of the 20th century that both men propelled man's knowledge and use of electricity. Within the short span of just a few decades, automobiles, airplanes, movies, recorded music, telephones, radio and practical cameras were being made available for the general public. It was the first time in history that the common people envisioned through the discoveries made a future filled with all these abundant innovations. Innovations that created well-paying jobs, affordable housing, plentiful food, and disease would be conquered. The common man was filled with optimism that their lives would be free from want and worry just because they now would have accessed the marvels of science and technology. Life was supposed to get better. But, in the midst of all the technological marvels, when everyone envisioned a world of ease and abundant free energy, was the beginning of the world's great energy cover-up. Today, millions not only here in the United States but the world over are slaves to the all-powerful utility and oil conglomerates. Now, at a time when the Keystone Pipeline bill is in the forefront of debate, what better time to acknowledge that for decades the United States' energy policies have placed the security and economic stability of our country in grave jeopardy. Not only that, but for millions, whenever there is inclement weather, are left without life-saving electric power. And, for millions more, the availability of obtaining portable or substitute electric power remains so elusive and cost-prohibitive, puts so many in harm's way at a time when they should have access to electric power. The reality today is a far cry from when Tesla envisioned a world with access to abundant free energy anywhere around the world. But, sadly though, the corporate energy conglomerates have made Tesla's dream of free energy for all just that, a dream unfulfilled. To get a better picture of how the American public are being deceived about alternate low-cost energy systems that would negate all those high-end utility bills that always keep increasing from our major energy corporations, is to look no further than search the internet. The web is full of false promises for people to obtain energy systems that would substitute the power from your utility company. And, yet the web is also a very resourceful resource for gaining information on the inventions from Tesla, Edison, and even Hendershot. For it was Lester Hendershot's take of Tesla's invention of magnetic energy that was instrumental for Charles Lindbergh's airplane the Spirit of St. Louis to make it all the way to Paris, France in 1927. Yet, to this day the government, power companies, and many in the scientific community have gone on record to deny that anything other than liquid fossil fuel was used for that historic flight. Conspiracy theory or cover-up on the existence of a power source that would revolutionize the modern world is a real possibility. There have been a number of individuals who have come forward with inventions that are successful adaptations of the works of Tesla and Hendershot. Then again, there are others who have devised energy sources using the radiant energy of the sun and the power of the wind to offset one's home energy needs. But, it has always been a futile effort, just like what happened to the Tucker automobile, that when a new lower-cost, more efficient form of energy arrives, it is the main power conglomerates that squash their existence, make it so cost-prohibitive people never have a chance to obtain it, or they use the media to discredit these innovations as a false or fraudulent attempt at ripping off energy that comes from these major power companies. One should note that since the early 1980s, spectacular energy technologies have been developed, and yet millions are still having to endure increasing energy costs from the utility companies. Even legislatures have passed occupancy permits that only allow a building or home to be available for occupancy as first having a direct connection to a major utility company like Progress Energy in Florida. This holds true in every state in the country. Now, for some time there have been multiple methods for producing vast amounts of energy at extremely low cost, and yet none of these technologies have made to the consumer market as an article of commerce. A cover-up or conspiracy. In either case, the world is waiting in anticipation that one or more energy systems will become available to the masses to decrease the dependency of energy sources that by their own nature have proven harmful to man and the environment. But, as long as the political will is being bought and paid for by the existing power structure, either with big oil and big electric conglomerates, our energy needs will always be dictated not by the consumer but by the all-powerful corporate-backed CEOs and elected officials. To deny that there isn't lower-cost, more fuel-efficient, and environmentally safe power sources either for electric power or fuel for our transportation needs as a blatant refusal to allow these alternate energy sources to be available to the general public. This, just so the money derived by keeping these innovations away from consumers necessitates us no other choice than to buy power from the established markets at their set prices. A power cover-up is the reality facing the consumer in the United States and beyond.